Hey everybody, thought I'd just hit that button. Push that button. Anyways, I did catch part of these meetings where Bobby Kennedy's trying to be in charge of all the medical systems here. So, man, I mean, really, it feels like it's a joke, but then again, he's a good example. You take the men who are running this administration or trying to be, or the collection of people, it's amazing. Now, Kennedy, that's something. You know, just on even a quick glance, but in watching that a little bit, you know, we're told even in the NHB book that our body is a temple of God. Yeah, and it is. This avatar with source consciousness is a temple of God. So it is the temple. And how things are in our exterior, they say the eyes are the window to the soul. And so how it is on our outside should match our inside. How we portray ourselves shows how, you know, the quality of the heart, so to speak, figuratively. Anyways, seeing this, it's going to sound critical, it might sound mean, but when somebody steps up on the world scene and starts to affect everyone's lives and claim this and that, I heard a Republican call him, see, he's on a divine mission from God. Delusional. It's amazing. I hope people can wake up and see. They complain, oh, the woke. Yeah, I woke up and I see you. So, it's crazy. RFK couldn't get a job at McDonald's, I'm sure, I would think, let alone manage one, let alone manage something of the whole world. And it only, if you watch some of that, if you don't believe me, watch how that went today. The questions and his answers or lack thereof are all telling. In fact, you don't have to watch long to get the gist of it, get the basics, because he diverts to Trump every time. He cannot answer a yes or no on his own. When he did, he did a time or two, and even when he didn't want to, probably don't believe what he said. But in seeing him, watching it, so if the body's a temple, and the eyes are the window to the soul, it was hard to do. Not hard to do. Upsetting to do, but yeah, I dig in, I watched him a little bit. Feel sorry for everybody had to sit around and put up with it. But the only time now to show that anybody could have physical issues, we go through life, we're all different, so I'm not making fun of that, but then not everybody should take a leadership role of such a large size either, no matter what. So anyways, the common tells of somebody who's says so many lies or tells lies as they blink and they, you know, you're going to look away forever and forever and forever and get real uncomfortable while you're lying. I mean, he's a perfect example of when he was lying, so bad, still not making fun of. Because when he was speaking other things that was in his zone, he didn't do that. Okay, so don't be judgmental on me. I'm just saying the facts. So, you know, and when a Republican person would be up there talking, he needed such a break, and even, But during this, he cried. He viewed himself as a hollow shell. He revealed, because he said, you're making me sounds like I'm hollow. And I was already thinking that he looks like a hollow shell devoted to Donald Trump because he's promised money and fame or something. whatever. This is incredible. So there should be no way that he should make it. But, you know, how low can you go? Anyhow. But it's a good example because you'll see those traits in every lying, conniving person, especially these Republicans. You'll see those traits all the way back to J.D. Vance before he got elected. If we have to make up stories to get attention, then we will. Dana. You know, so to varying degrees, it's proliferating through that party, the whole Republican Party. Well, there are others that don't approve this, but the prevailing MAGA takeover is, you see those traits in there. And they also are in the traits of those who grow up under that, where the strongman mentality, even if it's the big bearded guy in the sky, this is what this is. When you live under that heavy yoke of sin and suffering and dominion and control, and you can't think. Bobby Kennedy could not think for himself. Every time it was a personal question, he'd defer it to Trump or Congress. So, unable to speak for himself. So he is a shell of a man. He feels correctly about himself. When they were giving him some questions or comments, or even on his past comments that are now different than what he says now, they got to him. He suffered through that. But during most of that, and even again when he spoke on things, the pre-planned things from his Republican cohorts, you could see him relax, and his blinking dropped less, picked up 3, sometimes 10 times higher during his upset, lying, salady, whatever, when he didn't want to answer for fear of having an idea of what Trump's going to do, because that's all he is a rubber stamp. Probably whoever else gets through there. So, but since he's planted himself in this position, as if he has enough in character to run such an organization, deserving of just a little bit of I would have voted for anyone in the camera view sitting around him. And I ask you to look at that. Look at the if the eyes are the window to the soul, and the body is a temple of God, even in your Bible. Okay, so watch him and look at everyone else that was there. I'd have voted on anyone else. Anyone else. The people right behind him, the sides of him, they would lead way better. I'd vote for them. So hopefully he don't make it through. And but if so, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Oh, I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the skies a tumbling. Yeah, one is taught straight from their top. Couldn't think for himself. Please put my shell through so I can be Donald Trump cloning. Yep, we're back to, which we knew that from the convention, their convention. Cloning. Donald, little Donald, little Donald. Name all those little puppies Donalds and hook them up. He's a hooked up Donald. Anyhow. Not a political person, but I do care about people, the world, the health for kids, people, the Meals on Wheels for some, whatever. I hear it got restored because really what he did was illegal, but it still highlights what they have in mind. Picking right back up where he left off, trying to take out things that people actually could care about, all for the sake of the greed of a few. So that part's a shame. Spent more time than I needed on it. I didn't need to hear from Kennedy anymore. Just a few things. Well, one, just you don't need much, but the rest of them I learned, and you learn a lot here in what's going on, and even in the questionings, and the same old delusion of the fellow Republicans that are sold into this act that's happening, where people are put in positions, you lie to enough of people in the country, and you get to do that. It's amazing. It's astonishing. Yeah. You Christian nationalists wanted this somehow, or was desperate to link in, and Project 2025, all your hate. It's still about the hate that's hasn't weeded out of people. Well, I'll keep it short. Just wanted to say a few things like that. Yeah, all the fears from written up versions of hatred. And yes, the Christ version was made up because it fits the Buddha version, the whatever, the guru. It's a Christ consciousness. It's a that's why the Romans, they were, all the groups that they had in their area, they supported. And as this Constitution was, when it was probably Jefferson or something that said he didn't care what his neighbor believed. He could believe in hundreds of different gods, so long as, they don't steal from me and this and that. Who cares? But why is that a factor? So long as those people don't pick a belief so limited and then make your laws and your everything else, start the shortcomings to have forced into your lives over their rules. That is nowadays, because we have more info. The truth can't stay hidden. You can't, let's get rid of fact checks. Let's make these groups, not important groups, medical groups, can't talk to each other. Those should sound so many alarms to the whole world, to this country. We're letting little narcissistic type of personality babies run this country. And because they made it there somehow, they have some authority to try to do so. But we just can't keep letting everybody be the next leashed up Trump. Trump is going to be in charge of all of those, because they are shells of people who have sold out, and Trump's selling America out to the highest bidder, or tried to. Anyways, that's how I feel. Just one individual, and but it's going to be important for people to, for one, see the truth of what's happening, but for two, to not accept it. Yeah. And as I mentioned yesterday, did a lot with my life. As I mentioned, I grew up in standard Christian beliefs, the typical hellfire, brimstone kind of ways, and went Pentecostal for a couple years because I thought, oh, the Spirit's stronger there. Yeah. Anyways, then it was JW for 20 years ish, and anyhow. The changes is not a discredit to myself, it is a credit to myself. And it's a credit to myself because we should always keep learning, and if you learn something new, you should be willing to make a change, make something different. Then if you learn something, if you keep denying it, then that's okay too, I suppose, but don't start harm. Is things helpful or harmful? So what's happened already since this presidency? Is he doing helpful things or harmful things? Yeah, it's all perspective, but the answers are clear with rationale and thinking and going a little deeper and this and that, for real. And so that's what I like about some of the people I listen to and learn from. We're not taking crap from haters. The hatred really does need to go, and you see it in plans, and it really does line up. And I'll keep repeating it because it needs done. I heard him talking, JFK said the biggest problem in this country that brings depression and health issues is obesity and stuff. On a quick glance, there's probably categories of what our biggest problems like that are if he's going to make that kind of statement. But our biggest problem for depressions and things is the control and domination that we're prominently, this country, big part of them, probably 80% of Congress has that Christian belief where they've tried to morph Yaldabaoth in with Christ. And there's conflicts when you do that. If you believe it literally, you got snake talking, you got donkey talking, you got a angry, jealous God that wants you to do this or that and kill you for many things, punish you. They tried to blend it all better to accept the Jews in with the rest of the Romans back then. So Christ kind of filled the bill for what we really knew. So he wasn't speaking about Yaldabaoth when he's like, you're the light of the world, your God and my God. That's why he had to say that so much to his disciples. He tried to illustrate we're not the same. I'm not talking about same. Is this, of course, time the Bible was really getting pieced together. It was hundreds of years later. So, we go just a few years. We can go 4 years and they try to re-erase history and stuff. So imagine hundreds and then 2000. Good news is history is known and it can go back even what we know of it. Big conclusions can be found and made with logic and reason and thinking on what the heck happened and what led us to here, why we still got people who think based on those biblical beliefs we can run this country because we're so right. We're still following the writings. Well, the wiring and the inherited wiring, it sticks, it's powerful, it shows that. But when you try to get too abusive, those who actually see beyond the illusion will have to rise up, and we're not going to just sit around and let you sinners, whatever, and nah. I think what you're doing is worse both this administration and the Christian nationalists they lined themselves up with, saying that RFK's had, you know, somehow divinely sent from God for a purpose here to take this job right now. But life's interesting. We only know what we know. Only know what we know. Anyhow, well, I'll let y'all go, and I'll catch you here or there or wherever. Have a good one.